Next on Deck with Tim Black.
This segment, we're going to cover Al Sharpton as he leads Black America on a boycott of retailers that have canceled their DEI participation program. Al Sharpton is upset. He said all of Black America should be upset.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a next step from affirmative action.
But should they? This question and others will be answered in this segment. Al Sharpton, he had his people, they had buses, they went to the Costco in Harlem, and they said, we're going to spend money with this Costco because this Costco has said they're going to maintain their DEI programs. If you don't maintain your DEI program, you're on a list to be boycotted. So Al Sharpton's big idea is we're going to go spend money as a Black community at the Costco because unlike Target, Costco's still doing DEI.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a next step from affirmative action. You can't tell me I got to shop where there is no diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can't make no law to force me to buy from folks that don't respect me. I work too hard to get my dollar to give it to some bigot.
He said he grabbed up 100 people, gave them $25 gift certificates, brought them to this Costco in Harlem to buy some stuff. They want to show they're doing what's called a buy-in. 90 days from now, he wants to do a boycott of the most egregious retailers that have the most amount of Black people shopping at their retail establishment and say, we're going to stop shopping with you because you canceled your DEI program. You listen to Trump and you are hurting Black Americans.
So we're going to make sure we get the company that has the largest consumer base in the Black community and has the smallest margin of profit. So when we call a boycott 90 days, that'll be in April around our convention time, we know that if we don't have, because some of y'all ain't never gonna be right. So if 30% of their consumers are Black and they operate off a 3 or 4 point margin of profit, we ain't got to stop 100% of y'all. If we can stop 20% of y'all, he will be in the red, and the question is how long he can stay in business in the red and how long we can boycott.
I think it's time for us to stand up and tell Reverend Al it's time to take a bow. Yeah, Reverend Al Sharpton needs to go ahead and retire from his doings. We've had enough of this. This is a new age, Al. This is a new time, Al. Do you realize you've been doing this 40 years, Al? 40 years, Al. When you started, there wasn't even cable. Do you understand, Al? Your tactics, your adherence, your capitulation to the Democratic Party is not what we are on. Folks, DEI is not Black Americans. Why would Black Americans boycott? Because LGBTQ people aren't getting jobs at Costco? First of all, I don't even know if that's true or not. Just because you stop a DEI program doesn't mean you stop hiring people. Just means you stop the DEI program. I don't get it. If you're saying they're discriminating on those bases, you can still sue. You can still sue for discrimination, right? Are you saying the Department of Justice are taking that away? The bottom line is Black Americans are tired of carrying water for all these other groups. Where was Al? Where was Al's diverse people? You look at the crowd of people that was marching with Al. Look at the people here. Look at the people here, Al. Folks, Al's people here. You see a lot of Latinos and Asians and LGBTQ people. I don't. I see a bunch of Black people. I see a bunch of Black people over 65. That's Al's base. Here's the problem. That's not who's affected by DEI. Y'all riled up to help Al solve a problem. It's not our problem. I never see my Native American people doing this. I never see my Jewish people doing it. Don't get me wrong. I've seen Jewish people and Native American people at different rallies that I've attended. There'd be a few Jewish people, a few Native American people, a few Asian people, a few Latino people, a few black people, a few white people. I've seen that, right? But you know what I never see? I never see a mass of them on a black issue. Why? Because they have their own issues. I'm not saying don't be empathetic to other people's issues. What I'm saying is Al is doing his best to incite black people to go out and do something that doesn't help black people. And he doesn't have the guts to do this for black people. I'm trying to think of the person who said this. It was on Twitter. I think it was Eve or Harriet. She put out a tweet and says, when was the last time Al took black people, 100 black people, to a black business and gave them vouchers to spend money at the black business? You know, if Reverend Al and Oprah and Tyler Perry and Robert Johnson or Byron Allen and all these other people with money and Shaq, everybody with loot. All the people with loot. Went and got 100 people, 1,000 people, 1,000 black people, and gave them. Hell, you can even give white people you give Latinos, white, Asians, all of them vouchers to be spent at the Tim Black store. Damn, I'd love to be a part of that. Yeah, why are you boosting a white-owned company? I saw the executive board of Costco look just like the executive board of Target. White. Why are you grabbing black people up to send them with money to go spend money with white businesses and then calling it black power? It doesn't make sense, guys. If black Jewish businesses needed help and they wanted to boost black Jewish businesses, they would spend money at black Jewish businesses. In fact, you probably wouldn't even need to rally them. They just do it anyway. They do it anyway. Same thing with the Asian community, the Korean community, the Chinese community, the Japanese community. They already do it. Now our black leaders, or our so-called black installed leaders, the people picked by the Democratic Party, put in front with a little bit of money, all the prestige, it shows nobody watches. Don't nobody watch Al's show. More people watch the 405 show. Or comedy, 450, is it 450? More people watch Club Shay Shay than watch Al Sharpton. Let's keep it real. Okay, so more people watch Godfrey's comedy show. More people watch the 5150 show than watch Al Sharpton. But they give them this notoriety because that means something to black people because we are damaged due to the system of white supremacy that black people ain't shit unless they're on a white network. Unless white people have given them something, unless white people appoint them. There are people that watch this show who won't support this show, won't do XYZ with this show, because I don't got a white guy that I work for. But if a white guy hired me, they'd be like, maybe he knows something. It's what happens. I'm going to get to that later. So here goes my thing, man. I don't have a problem with us boycotting any organization or any retailer. All of them deserve it. All of them probably underhire black people in positions of managerial or directorialship. Okay? That directors and management, we only represent like 3% on average in any corporation. So you got all the reason to boycott them. My problem is you're not boycotting them for us. You want us to boycott them for other people. The people that make the the yoga thing, the Lululemon. How many of my LGBTQ people would boycott Lululemon if they don't support black people? Yeah, Al, that's the question I want to ask you. How many of my yoga enthusiasts who are LGBTQ would boycott Lululemon to support my black ass? Or Nina Turner's black ass, or Cornel West's black ass? How many of them would do that? I'm just wondering. Would that go mainstream? These are questions. But see, when black people say no, people call it racist. When black people say, nah, this isn't cool, I don't rock with this, this doesn't make sense for my community, we got those people that call us racist. And some of those people are black. They don't know shit, they're not thinking straight. Their minds are warped from white supremacy. But even black people say that. So I'm not even knocking all the white people, because you ain't the only ones that don't look out for our best benefit. Some of us don't look at our best interests and they're black. Reverend Al wants us to champion for an issue that affects the entire country. And to prove my point, Joy Reid, now I seldom use Joy Reid for anything, but when you're right, you're right. A broken clock can be right twice a day. In fact, it is. A broken clock is always right at least twice a day. It all depends when you cut it on, when you look at it. Oh, lo and behold, it's right. 11:44. Joy Reid spoke to this in this segment.
Donald Trump's administration has ordered federal diversity, equity, and inclusion employees to be placed on leave by today in an effort to demolish DEI initiatives across the federal government. Trump signed an executive order Monday ending what he calls radical and wasteful DEI programs in federal agencies. That means DEI-related offices and programs will be shuttered and all websites and social media accounts for such offices removed. What is the union's response going to be?
Well, first of all, I think that we have obligation to educate the public as to what DEI really is, because number one, it's not affirmative action as some might think. DEI is about making sure that, say, a veteran may have a handicap, an injury from the services, and come to work for the federal government. DEI would make sure that that veteran has the I guess I would say the opportunity to work in a job, and they will place them in a position where they could accommodate that veteran and so that they can do their job. So DEI is about that and about providing services for workers. It's not about the color of a person's skin.
And it's not a quota program. Let's just be clear. It means that, not, and it also, I think, for a lot of conservatives, they believe DEI just means black people getting jobs. And so when they see a black person in any job, they say, oh, that person's a DEIer.
No, but see, here's the point. Al's operating as if DEI means black too. That's my point. This has been my argument. And there are people that have been disagreeing with me. Maybe now you believe me, because a spokesperson who's hired by MSNBC, a white-owned company, they're telling you. Maybe I didn't tell you correctly. Let me try again. I'm sorry, Johnson. I'm sorry. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's me. DEI is not a construct built for black Americans. It's a construct built for all Americans. Several groups can attribute their success in the employment or the workplace based on DEI. It supports veterans as well as LGBTQ, as well as women and people of all races and orientations and backgrounds, religions, ethnicities. That's the strength of DEI. It's a misnomer to assume that DEI means black, when it's the opposite. DEI means diversity, equity, and inclusion of all peoples. Back to you, Tim. Joy Reid's absolutely right. DEI is not black. My problem is I got all these black people that work for all these nations, all these stations, all these entities, talking to black people and riling black people up about something when they should be talking to white people, particularly white women and Latino folks and Asian folks and Native American folks and all other folks, veterans. Like, it helps all these people to some extent, but nobody specifically, and nobody to the extent that they would cut their arm off to get out of the bear trap. Now, if the employer thinks this will make his business look like Benetton, where you got a black, a Latino, an Asian, a person in a wheelchair, a disabled person, differently bodied, abled person, a LGBTQ person, a black person, a white person, a woman, a black woman, a white woman, an Asian woman. Like, if that's what you're looking for, yeah. But please, cut the cap. This is not, it's been misused by the Patrick Bet Davids, the Ben Shapiros, the Tim Pools, who intentionally want to misuse it for that purpose. And it's also been misused by the spokesmodels of the Democratic Party who are misusing it and mislabeling it and applying it and making it about something it's not. It is not an affirmative action for Black Americans. You just heard your girl Joy Reid say it, your lady Joy Reid say it very succinctly. It doesn't mean us. So stop gaslighting Black America about a program that is not for Black Americans specifically. Let's motivate, inspire, fortify, encourage Black people to rise up to support our upliftment. We're the ones on the bottom, folks. I'm not saying it's not good to support other things, to support issues that impact everyone. But folks, when you are worth 10 cents of every dollar of a white family on average, when you are 40% of the homeless rate, when you're only 13% to 14% of the overall population, when you're 3 and 4 times more incarcerated, don't you think we got other issues we should be addressing before we address if able-bodied people are getting help in DEI or if Asian women are getting positions in DEI? Yeah, only a fool doesn't deal with their own issues first. And that's exactly what these people are trying to make us, fools. And before I close, let me add one last thing. They may not be looking out for our best interests as Black Americans, but you best believe these spokesmodels, they're looking for their own personal interest. That's the difference.